Welcome back to another video. Today I'm in South Wales and I'm at a place called contemplated, which is, I think how you pronounce it. It's been a long time since I was in Wales last. I actually used to live here, so I'm happy to be back. It's a crisp autumnal morning. It's quite cool, about 1 degree, and this is waterfall country, so I'm hoping to get some landscape images today of a few waterfalls, and I've got my map and I've started my hike, so let's see what we can get. Well, thank goodness it's not a Cape Buffalo. Yeah, wasn't expecting that, but he didn't budge. He's very chilled. Well, I've arrived at my first waterfall, and yeah, somehow I've got to get down there. Very rocky, and I've got my wellies on, so not the best for muddy, slippy surfaces, but we'll do it. And I can hear the waterfall already, it's very loud, so I think there's a lot of water coming down. So yeah, let's get down there and get set up. Okay, so sure enough, impressive, but how I'm going to take a photograph, I do not know, because you can't actually get down there. So, well, you could get down there, but I'm not particularly sure it's a wise thing to do. Yeah, I have no clue what I'm going to do here. I'm going to spend a few minutes to try and work out whether I can get a composition from up here. I'll maybe go down a little bit and see over that side whether there's access to the side, because from here, let me show you, from here I'm right at the cliff edge here. Wow. And it's very impressive, but there's a lot of foreground clutter. There's actually a tree that's overhanging, and that is quite nice. It would be very nice in the composition, but from this angle looking down, I don't think the composition is going to work. So yeah, let me show you. So you see, you have this tree here, got a lot of trees. If I come lower down, this is clutter, and I've got this tree here. So yeah, the waterfall is behind me there. There's actually a little stream here, right over the cliff in front of me, right by my feet. And there's another small waterfall that goes there. You can see the river coming here. There's no way down. I think there's a path on the other side that potentially you could kind of get down there, but there's no way across unless I go back, and I'm not sure I want to do that. So I might just have to, yeah, bite the bullet and take what image I can get rather than the image that I want to get. There's a big difference between the two. What I'd love to do actually, but even then, yeah, I think the best vantage point is on the other side, but if you look, it's sheer rocks. So let me just turn the camera around. See here, all of this, you can't get down. There is actually a way you could do it, and I'm only telling you this in case, as a photographer, you're watching this and you think maybe you want to come and explore this. But I think if the water was lower, then you could potentially kind of come across here, but all this is fenced here. You could potentially come here, cross the river there, go across the rock, and then come down here. See, there's somebody walking up there. Come down here, although it's quite steep, and get to here. That's possible. But it's not something I'm going to do. Well, I've just taken a few images, but as I said, they're not the images that I want. It's the images that are available to me. Yeah, and I wanted to actually take one last image in landscape orientation because I've been working in portrait mode, but there's some people now on the rocks at the top of the waterfall, which isn't particularly great, so I'll wait a little bit. But let me just show you, if you watch, I'm just checking my footing here because I don't want to fall over. If you watch YouTube videos with landscape photography, I don't need to tell you what you need to do here. You should know. This is my Panasonic Lumix S1R. I've got the MC21 adapter from Sigma. I've got my Canon 1635 f2.8, and then I've got a Lee Foundation filters kit, circular polarizer just to reduce any reflection and glare. Not too much today, but I always like to use that with water, and a 6-stop ND, also known as a little stopper. So that's my setup, and then I'm about f9. ISO is quite high because we're in shade, so I've got that to around about 640, and it's given me about a 2.5 second shutter time. So you don't want to do it too long with the shutter speed because otherwise you get overexposure. Actually in the waterfall there's a lot of water, there's a lot of white water, so you just got to make sure that rather than try to have a longer shutter speed, make sure your ISO compensates for that. So I've got a couple of shots. Yeah, just try to embrace what I've got around me, rocks, grass. You know, it's not going to be that clean composition that we really look for, but you got to work with what you've got. So we'll see.
I tried 3 different compositions of this scene and none of them worked. The first in landscape orientation with a wide angle lens. While showing the entirety of the scene, it is just too cluttered in the foreground, and the light is casting a shadow at a diagonal over the far embankment. My attempts at trying to capture the scene in portrait orientation equally failed. The first, at a wide angle, lacked light and contrast, and the second, where I went slightly tighter in on the subject, really doesn't work, with the tree branch blocking the main subject of the waterfall itself.
Right, so I'm at the second of the waterfalls, and this one is amazing, but very noisy. Look, that's what I got behind me. You can see that. Wow. But challenging conditions because I've got the sun coming direct into my camera. The camera is down, whoa, way down here somewhere. There we go. And you can see all the glare on the water. So very challenging. I've tried to use a couple of rocks just here in the foreground as an anchor, some foreground interest. It's not particularly easy because you've got an incline on the embankment here just behind me. See if I can do that. There we go. See this incline here? That's creating some glare because I'm using a polarizer and a big stopper. I've actually put the big stopper on because the little stopper, it got me all the movement in the water, but it didn't get me the movements, or it didn't smooth out the foreground in the water. It was still quite, there's a lot of movement, a lot of ripples, and I didn't like that in the composition. So my challenge is going to be actually climbing over this tree, because I actually want to go over this side here and try and get basically an image at this angle. I'm debating whether or not to take an image this side. There's a tree there, yeah, you can see. That might be a nice leading line, but yeah, it's a beautiful spot, not easy to get to. I had to really scramble down the rocky embankment, and then when you get down here, rocks all underfoot. So if you do come to the 4 waterfalls, be prepared, and yeah, you do need a reasonable amount of fitness and determination to get down here. So I managed to get down to where I wanted to be, amongst the mossy rocks with a waterfall behind me, but I had to wait a long time. Just up there were some orienteers and cliff divers. A lot of people came. I didn't think I was going to get my shot. It's probably, I would say, the most difficult photograph I've taken in a long time. I had to basically climb all the way across this greasy, wet surface Up here, I'll show you this side. Come all the way down here, come all the way around here, and I'm at water's edge. But it was worth it because I think I got the composition. Sun was in the right place. Got the two main waterfalls, the small tributary waterfall and spray, and I got a rainbow, a small rainbow here when the light came on. I'm sorry I didn't video it. I was working super fast because there are people right up the top there, and I wanted to take the image without them. I didn't want to do any Photoshop work basically. I want it as natural and as pure as possible. But I got the image and I'm so happy. So I'm now at the third waterfall, and actually it's a series of waterfalls. There's 1, 2, 3, there's one behind me, but I can't get everything in shot. The rocks are really slippy, so I'm going to have to be very careful as I turn the camera. You can see behind me, there's one right at the top, one in the middle, one lower down. I can't quite get the composition I want because I should be on that side of the bank, over here. If I was over there, I'd get more of the top waterfall in. But it's just not possible at all. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful location. It's a lot easier than the second waterfall. I can imagine in summer this place would be absolutely stunningly beautiful. It's stunningly beautiful now in end of autumn, beginning of winter. But with higher light, you know, sunlight in the sky, it's quite low at the moment. Getting a little bit more illumination on these rocks would make a perfect image. But yeah, I just got the little stopper back on, the circular polarizer. I've actually put a grad on because there's a big fat cloud right above the trees at the top of that waterfall that's creating a little bit more glare. Slightly overexposed because I'm kind of about between 2.5 and 4 seconds exposure time. So yeah, I want to just kind of like calm that down a little bit. But other than that, I think I'm done here. I'm going to head on to the last waterfall. Yeah. Been a really, really good day so far.
I'm at the last waterfall. So yeah, I'm just about to head down. My SD card for my audio recorder is full, so when I get down there I'm not going to do any pieces to camera because you just won't hear me. I'll probably narrate over the video, but what I wanted to show is this. At each descent it tells you just how steep it is and how long it takes, which is a very cool piece of information to know. The walk down to the waterfall wasn't easy in wellies. In fact, on hindsight, and if I do visit again, I'll do the walking part in walking boots, and I'll carry my wellies in my backpack for when I actually get to the river itself. This was the busiest waterfall of the 4 because of the access to the waterfall. There's a path that passes behind the waterfall itself, and the day that I visited there were a number of visitors. Therefore, you need a little patience in order to take the image, but that isn't a problem in such a beautiful location. From the 4th waterfall I had about a 1-hour walk back to my car, but it was well worth it. I hope you liked this latest landscape photography video. If you did, and as a small YouTube channel, you will really be helping me by leaving a comment and a like, and subscribe for future installments. Thanks for watching and see you next time.